We ready, Chris? Everything? All right. Welcome to the general session of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners for March 24th. We will begin this morning's meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. This morning we'll begin with the county engineer.
Resolution number 201-20, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Goodenkoff Corporation for the CR 122 Alum Creek Drive Connected Vehicle Environment in the amount of $1,463,230.30.
The engineer really wanted me to start that way, so.
I'm
The
sure I am
engineer
sure
for every resident, every day.
Commissioners, Chris Long, Deputy Administrator, presenting on behalf of the Engineer's Office this morning. This first resolution is a construction contract award for the CEV project in the southeast part of the county along Alum Creek Drive near Wickenhopper. This is one of the ways Franklin County is meeting our obligation to participate in the Smart Columbus project. The Engineer's Office held a competitive bid on February 25th and had only one bid, but they've worked with the Goodenkoff company before and recommend your approval.
If there's no questions, I'll move approval of 20120.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes,
Resolution number 201-20 has been adopted.
thank you. Tyler, would you mind grabbing that door for us, please? Thank you.
Resolution number 202-20, establishing, altering, and widening of Norton Road, County Road number 3, and Crop Road, Grove City Road, County Road number 135, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Capital improvement project is in the southwest part of the county in Pleasant Township at the intersection of Norton Road and Crop Road, Grove City Road. This project will utilize ODOT safety funding to convert the intersection to a single-lane modern roundabout. This resolution is the first in a series of two to declare this project necessary, and the engineer's office would be allowed to begin its design. Any questions, we recommend your approval.
I'll move approval of 20220.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes,
Resolution number 202-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 203-20, establishing, altering, and widening of Hilliard and Rome Road, County Road number 3, Beacon Hill Road, and Hillbrook Drive, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, the next three capital improvement projects are connected and similar for new traffic signals at the following intersections: Hilliard and Rome Road, Beacon Hill Road, and Hilliard Drive in Prairie Township; Gants Road and Dyer Road in Jackson Township; Roar Road and Pines Road in Madison Township. This first resolution, as read by the clerk, is seeking to declare necessary the improvement of Hilliard and Rome Road, County Road number 3, Beacon Hill Road, and Hillbrook Drive. This project is located in southwest Franklin County in Prairie Township and proposes to construct a new traffic signal. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
I'll move approval of 20320.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
yes,
Resolution number 203-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 204-20, establishing, altering, and widening of Gants Road, County Road number 256 and Dyer Road, Township Road number 260, Jackson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks to declare necessary the improvement of Gants Road, County Road number 256 and Dyer Road, Township Road number 260. This project is located in southwest Franklin County in Jackson Township and proposes to construct a new traffic signal. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
Move approval of 20420.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
yes,
Resolution number 204-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 205-20, establishing, altering, and widening of Roar Road, County Road number 235, and Pontius Road, County Road number 237, and County Road number 118, Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks to declare necessary the improvement of Roar Road, County Road number 235, and Pontius Road, County Road number 237, and County Road number 118. This project is located in southeast Franklin County in Madison Township and proposes to construct a new traffic signal. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
I'll move for approval of 20520.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 205-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 206-20, the 2020 resurfacing program for Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary and hearing fixed for Tuesday, April 14th, 2020 at 9 a.m.
Commissioners, this resolution declares necessary the annual county resurfacing program. For 2020 and 2019, the engineer's office has doubled the size of the program each year as a result of the increased revenue from raising vehicle registration fees by $5 in 2018. The engineer's office wishes to thank you, Commissioners, for working with the Franklin County Engineer's Office in doing so. This year's program covers 16 miles on 9 sections of roadways: Dublin Road, Frank Road, Graham Road, Hayden Run Road, Hilliard and Rome Road, Kitzmiller Road, Lee Road, Morse Road, and Wagner Road. Pending any questions, would recommend your approval.
I do have a question, and this is probably not for you, Deputy Administrator, but, it doesn't affect how I'm going to vote on this legislation, but I'd be curious to know, if you could pass this on to the engineer, if as a result of the gas tax raise, part of the discussion in the legislature was that they would put so much money into resurfacing and pothole repairs, and I'm just curious if we're seeing that sort of return on that, the passage of that fuel tax increase, because that was part of the big promise within the package. And so I'd just like to know if we're seeing that, if we're getting those dollars, or if there's coordination with Franklin County so that we're realizing some benefits from that increase.
I will absolutely pass that on, Commissioner. I'm sure the engineer is watching this program as we speak, but I will pass that on directly, and we'll make sure that the engineer's office is able to get that information to the commissioners.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions? I'll move for approval of 20620.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 206-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 207-20, report fifth of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Norton Road at Johnson Road Improvement, Prairie Township and Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $64,765.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the southwest part of the county on the line between Prairie Township and Pleasant Township at the intersection of Norton Road and Johnson Road. This resolution is the fifth report for right-of-way acquisition, includes one property, and is an administrative settlement that the engineer's office worked out with Prosecutor Ron O'Brien's office to avoid appropriating in court. Pending any questions, would recommend your approval.
I'll move for approval of 20720.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 207-20 has been adopted.
All right, thank you, I was going to say Mr. Engineer, Miss Engineer fill
It's
in.
my pleasure, Commissioner.
Thank you. Child support enforcement.
Resolution number 208-20, resolution authorizing a 4D contract with the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office in the amount of $387,684.77.
Good morning, Commissioners. CSEA asks your approval to enter into a one-year interagency agreement with Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney's Office beginning March 1st, 2020, in an amount not to exceed $387,684.77. The purpose of this contract is to reimburse the Prosecuting Attorney's Office for expenses associated with reviewing, preparing, and prosecuting eligible 4D cases pursuant to Section 291921 of the Ohio Revised Code, or criminal non-support. Each unit of service defined as one billable hour of staff time to be reimbursed at a rate of $93.19. It is anticipated that 3,322 hours of time will be devoted to this contract. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
Any questions?
The-
Go ahead.
Only to say these are annual contracts, part of the
Correct.
Social Security Code, if I'm not mistaken. That's correct. Yeah, part of the Federal Social Security Code, just to explain to the public that might be watching. Normally, we would have a bit of a conversation with child support about this, and they do them with multiple agencies, and these are two of them.
That is correct. And in fact, both of the resolutions before you from Child Support Enforcement are annual contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll move for approval of 20820.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 208-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 209-20, resolution authorizing a 4D contract with the Franklin County Data Center in the amount of $509,401.45.
Commissioners, Child Support Enforcement requests your authorization to enter into a one-year interagency agreement with the Franklin County Data Center beginning March 1st, 2020, in an amount not to exceed $509,401.45. The purpose of this contract is to reimburse the data center for expenses associated with providing information technology services to the Child Support Enforcement Agency. The CSEA's primary child support software and tracking systems are maintained on a statewide computer system, SETS, SETS, which is independent of the County Data Processing Center. However, the CSEA utilizes services of the data center related to the use of county data systems, machine use, professional services, staff access to the court's Franklin County Justice System, FCJS, storage and maintenance of the electronic document management system, on-base, and other services such as the agency public website. Pending any questions, we request your approval.
I'll move for approval of 20920.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 209-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 210-20, resolution entering into a funding agreement with the Economic and Community Development Institute to provide a micro-enterprise loan program to county businesses in the amount of $675,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy County Administrator. This contract would be with the Economic and Community Development Institute for a total amount of $675,000. Of that, if you'll recall from briefing on Thursday, an additional $200,000 in Community Development Block Grant resources were added, and an additional $300,000 of general fund money repurposed from the already existing 2020 Economic Development and Planning budget for the purpose of these microloans. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
So let me make sure I get all this, because, I mean, it's fantastic, by the way, great work by you and the department. I know a lot of hours have gone into this over the last short amount of time. So let me make sure I understand the numbers, though. So there's $500,000 plus the 175 to make up to 675. Now some additional dollars, CDBG monies, and explain, if you would,
Sure.
please, the exact dollars here.
Yeah, sorry for my confusion, Commissioner. The original budgeted amount in the 2020 budget for this program through the CDBG funding stream was intended to be $175,000. Now, in addition to that, recommended to you as a result of the current crisis that we are going through and the stresses that our small business community is seeing, we are recommending adding an additional $500,000 to this contract. 200 of that 500 is CDBG, 300 is general fund. As mentioned, that additional $500,000 will leverage at a 3-to-1 ratio an additional $1.5 million for a total of $2 million to ECDI's loan pool for small businesses.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So it does leverage at a 3-to-1 ratio.
Eric, can you say where that leverage comes from?
Sure. Primarily the Small Business Association at the federal level, but not just. It could be banks, could be other philanthropic organizations. ECDI has a network of resources that they use their public dollars to leverage.
And who is going to be eligible, and how would people be able to access if we should pass this today?
Yep. Small businesses that are credit worthy and qualified are eligible. If you are using the CDBG money, the documentation of business owners must qualify as a low-income county resident per HUD guidelines or through the creation of jobs at a rate of one job created per $35,000 loaned. As I mentioned in briefing, and I'd like to recite these statistics again because I think they're important, 63% of ECDI's current loan portfolio is minority-owned businesses, 52% low to moderate income, 46% women-owned businesses, 33% immigrant-owned businesses. So ECDI has a strong track record of making sure that they have outreach to small businesses all throughout the community in Franklin County.
So I've, and these are micro enterprise loans, so we're not talking about, folks, getting large loans here. These are largely businesses that are looking to pay their rent over the next couple of months while we try to survive the current crisis that we're in, looking to pay their employees, looking to just get through what we're dealing with here.
It's my understanding, Commissioner, that real estate type purchases are prohibited under this loan, but the rest that you talk about is permissive also includes things like working capital, which is what you mentioned, inventory and equipment investments as well.
Exactly.
The average loan size is about $30,000. They do range from a small of $5,000 to the not usual large amount in excess of $300,000, but the average loan through this program is about $30,000.
Yeah, late yesterday afternoon or last evening, I guess, the three of us were on a text exchange with our counterparts in the metropolitan counties throughout Ohio. And folks were asking questions back and forth about what are some of the things that we're all doing. And I mentioned this, and so had county commissioners in other counties asking where they could get more information about this. And so indicated to, in particular, Commissioner Lieberman in Montgomery County that she may reach out to. We sent them the information, but then she may reach out to either you or Director Schimmer and set your contact information.
So a couple of mentions to that point, Commissioner. One is obviously all of this information will be accessible on the county's Economic Development and Planning website. But in addition to that, under the county administrator's leadership, we convened a conference call of the 6 large metro counties on Friday. County administrators and their senior staffs or chiefs of staff, if they are county executive forms of government, and we shared this information with them.
I'm sure, but I guess at this, in today's environment, working remotely as everybody's doing, I'm just wondering if between Friday and Monday evening, if the county administrator in Montgomery County just hadn't communicated that yet to their
May well be, and I think in the case of Montgomery County, I think they had a couple of their assistant administrators on. So, but we've made that information available to them, and we would stand ready to assist any counties that might want to inquire more about our program. And obviously, we intend these metro calls to be ongoing on a weekly basis so that we can share best practices and likewise learn from them what they're doing as this crisis moves on.
in our text exchange with the other metropolitan counties is simply it's mostly a casual thing. It started, just because they were county commissioners that we just happen to have, cell phone numbers for, and it's just kind of how it started, and it became a free-flowing exchange of thoughts and ideas. But we certainly don't have everybody on the text exchange because we don't have everybody's cell phone number. It just kind of started that way.
Yeah, but President O'Grady, Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Boyce, as Deputy Administrator Janice said, now we have a standing call scheduled with the Metro County administrators and assistant administrators. So we will be, as we go through this crisis, we may have to cancel a week here and there, but we will be in regular communication. The call was very fruitful. We discussed our strategy, for example, in reducing the capacity in our buildings. I shared what we were doing within our Department of Job and Family Services and Child Support Enforcement and Aging, and it was a very fruitful call, and we talked about a number of issues in a short period of time.
We also encouraged them to, that we were doing these, community-wide administrative briefings every morning, and talk to them about what that was all about, encourage them to consider those in their counties as well.
I would just add to to Ken's point, this first call that we had the Metro County administrators was largely about operations because that was the immediate issue at hand before us. I would expect in the weeks to come that we'll be talking more proactively about some of the longer term challenges we have and some programmatic ideas that we can share so that we're collectively all providing the best service to our residents. So those calls will continue.
President O'Grady?
Yes.
Thank you, President O'Grady. A couple things. One, I really want to make sure we're documenting whatever protocols we're using because, you got to imagine 50 years from now, we're not all here and this happens again, that we could have given a little bit of help to the next generation that may face something like that, where because we faced it, we can sort of save them a little bit of stress by saying, here's some protocol to consider. 50 years from now, things will probably be a lot different technology-wise. Nonetheless, you at least got a playbook, and so I want to encourage us to continue to document that. Secondly, I just want to say to Deputy Administrator Janice, I want to commend you and Director Schimmer for being proactive and just thinking of a way to respond to the small businesses. I really appreciate it. And then furthermore, you're very responsive to me with my early questions during the process, and I appreciate that as well. But one thing I want to go back to is the small businesses, capital infusion is always an issue for them. And at the end of the day, this is a loan, and they've got to pay it back. And so can you talk about, one, the credit considerations that businesses have to have, so credit scores and that kind of thing, and then two, because of the current pandemic and a sort of worldwide shutdown, if you will, what is the length of grace period time that they'll have before they have to start paying it back? Because to me, those are the two critical issues around the structure of the finance, credit worthiness, as well as because typically these are the type of loans that they can't get from a banking institution.
Right.
And so credit considerations are critical, but then furthermore, just the length of the duration of time before they have to start paying it back is going to be crucial for them. And so are we making considerations for the pandemic, and we're doing more? If you could just talk about that.
Be happy to, Commissioner. Good questions. I'll take your second one first. I have that information immediately at hand. New clients will have a 2-month grace period once they were approved for the loan in order to begin the payback, with the opportunity to request an additional 4 months period. So there is an up to 6-month grace period for those that are in receipt of these loans before they would need to begin to pay things back. So we think that that's helpful with respect to what we're going through, and hopefully that in 6 months' time we will folks will be in a better position to begin to pay back their loans and be a little steadier on their feet. Commissioner, to your question about credit worthiness, it's a good one. I don't have the answer to that off the top of my head. I will say I had a conversation with the department, and the trend that they mentioned to me just yesterday, that they're already beginning to see, Alex Bears, who used to work for ECDI a long time ago, mentioned to me that credit is already tightening a little bit from traditional lending institutions. And so what we're likely to see is historically credit-worthy small businesses who might be able to otherwise go to banks need another outlet. And so it's that sort of that cascading effect where the folks most likely to come to use this facility are those that are usually credit-worthy from a lending institution point of view, but because credit tightening might start to happen and is already starting to happen, more likely to use this vehicle. But as far as the answer to the actual creditworthiness checks, I don't have that information off the top of my head. I'll get it for you. I'll be happy to do that.
That'd be great. And Commissioner O'Grady, that'd be great. And I think it's something that we should really encourage them to be thoughtful about. You know, that the credit impact on your rating is going to be significant now because everybody's going to be late on payments. Everyone's going to have cash flow issues, and your credit score is just going to naturally drop. And if it becomes the indicator, then it could disqualify them, thus taking jobs out of the market. It sort of serves as contrary. So I appreciate that communication to Mr. Fireman and the folks over at EDIC.
Happy to do it.
Eric, I have one question
Sure.
about how people will get to apply for this help. Do they contact ECDI, or do you want people to come to economic development?
They can do it either way, Commissioner. They can reach out to our Department of Economic Development and Planning. We've already had, for instance, folks in the Short North Business District reach out and ask about those kinds of questions. We'll be happy to direct them to ECDI directly. They also can feel free to reach out to ECDI. We will have that information prominently posted on the department's webpage, so people
And
can know exactly where they need to go.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
as we talked at briefing, we'll have ECDI track
Yes,
the
ma'am.
results and have that available separately from our other work with ECDI.
Yep. You asked that question on Thursday, and I immediately double back, not just for this one, but for the next resolution as well, to
Thank
ensure that we're doing that.
So I've had many restaurant owners, and this isn't by the way, we should emphasize, this isn't simply for the restaurant industry. This is for small businesses across the board. But obviously, with my connection to the restaurant industry as a former restaurant owner, having done a lot of work over the years with the local food action plan and the local food movement in Central Ohio, know a lot of people in the restaurant industry, and so a lot of people have reached out to me, many folks across the board from different, anywhere from small restaurant owners to large restaurant groups have reached out to me over the last week or two. And what I've encouraged folks to do, as they mention that they're talking with the SBA, what I've said to them is that this is coming, and that they should not only talk to the SBA, but they should also talk to ECDI, and they should compare the two. They should compare their options between the SBA and ECDI, because they may find that one is better than the other, and look at their options with both here. And they've been unbelievably thankful that this is gonna be another option for them. So this is tremendous work by the department and by your leadership. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
the department did tremendous work, Commissioner. To your point, I think that's exactly right, and I have charged the department with also cataloging federal and state resources for small businesses. The workforce side of the equation as well, but in particular, this instance, the Small Business Association, the information that they've already sent out, and other resources at the state level for small businesses. So anybody that wants to find that information can find it on the county's Department of Economic Development and Planning
Commissioner
website.
Boyce's point this morning is huge. These are loans, they need to be paid back. Folks are looking for a bridge to get from where they are today to how they remain in business and be able to continue this summer, later this summer, however it is, or whenever the date is, that they are able to be back to fully functioning, fully staffed to that date that we're all looking for, to get back to our normal lives. And so they're trying to understand what it is. I talked to a restaurant owner the other day that they're like, I don't know what to apply for. I don't know how much money to apply for. I don't know how many months I need to sustain my rent. I don't know how many months I need to potentially sustain my employees. Because some of these folks are just saying, look, I can't sustain my employees. I just can't do that. Others are trying to sustain employees. Others have completely laid their employees off. So they're trying to figure this out, and they're looking for a bridge, and these are options for them to
And I think
to
that's
help.
a critical statement, because that gets to the next resolution. If we're
That's right.
helping employees find jobs, there have to be jobs out there to find. And so I think that bridge is really important, that we help the small businesses so that when people are ready to get back to work, and that there are jobs for them to have. That's why these two companion resolutions are so critically interlinked. So I appreciate the department and your leadership for having thought of both sides of the equation.
Thank you.
All right.
I will move for passage of 21020.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 210-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 211-20, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with the Workforce Development Board of Central Ohio to administer a quick strike job readiness program for the recently unemployed in Franklin County in the amount of $500,000.
Commissioners, this $500,000 contract, again, repurposed already budgeted dollars from the Department of Economic Development and Planning, would go to the Workforce Development Board to assist those residents in Franklin County whose employment has been suspended or terminated as a result of the crisis that we're going through. For those employees that are interested in using this time to sharpen their job skills or explore new career pathways, the Workforce Development Board will work with them to provide online type training, credentialing, and other coursework to help them further their professional careers. If they do so consistent with the guidelines set forward in this program for a period of time, brief period of time, this program will provide them an additional $250 stipend for their efforts. Again, I would like to point out this is not meant to supplement, but rather to support unemployment insurance, which will be the critical funding stream for many of our displaced workers during this time. But this is an extra added support for those that are sufficiently motivated and interested in using this time to sharpen their career skills. So Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
I think this is the essential component. If there are no further questions or comments, I'll move for passage of 21120.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce? Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 211-20 has been adopted.
All right, Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 212-20, resolution authorizing two contracts to the City of Columbus for intake assessments and peer support services through the fiscal year 2016 Justice and Mental Health Collaboration Grant Program in the amount of $60,044.
Commissioners, Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator, and I'm really hoping you don't have quite as many questions for me on these next two that you had on the last two, but I will do my best to summarize. This first resolution is authorizing two contracts to the City of Columbus for intake assessments and peer support. The first is with Link, Learning to Identify and Navigate Change for Career Peer Support Specialist through the Franklin County Municipal Court, and the second is for pretrial intake and assessment resources, again, through the Franklin County Municipal Court through their current contract with Alvis. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
I'll move for passage of 21220.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 212-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 213-20, resolution authorizing a no-cost contract extension for the Access Innovation Project of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation and the Urban Institute.
Commissioners, this is a resolution asked simply for an extension for 3 months for an existing contract with the Urban Institute for their Access Innovation Project and their Justice Challenge Innovation Fund. The dollars being provided courtesy of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. Again, no change in cost or dollar amount associated with the contract, simply an extension of 3 months. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
Move approval of 21320.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 213-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 214-20, resolution authorizing a modification to the contract agreement with Castle Technologies Company, LLC, to perform additional communications activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center at an increase in the amount of the contract not to exceed $90,656 for a total amount of $3,595,656.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Long, Deputy Administrator. This resolution before you requests approval for additional cabling at the Correction Center job site. This has been approved by the design team, owner's representative, and Gilbane Smoot, the construction management team. Pending any questions, would recommend your approval.
I do have a question, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Please.
So how are we going to stay on track with regard to the jail site? How do the executive orders impact construction and both, if you might as well speak to the morgue as well?
Absolutely.
But what's it going to do with regards to timeline, workflow, and et cetera?
So, excellent question, Commissioner. On the day that the executive order was issued, or the directive from Dr. Atkin, I spoke with both of our construction management teams at both sites, both the Forensic Science Center and the Correction Center. The order itself specifically states in Section 9, I believe, public works construction as a component of essential governmental infrastructure works to continue. So as we speak, both sites remain working with obviously extensive safety measures that have been put into place that not only are now but have been in place. Both construction management teams continue to be very much attuned on a daily basis as to the work to proceed appropriately. And so at the moment, that work continues.
Excellent, thank you so much.
I'll move for passage of 21420.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 214-20 has been adopted.
Human Resources.
Resolution number 215-20, resolution approving partnerships with colleges and universities for the purpose of providing reduced cost higher education opportunities at no cost to the county.
Commissioners, this resolution is similar to the Otterbein resolution that you approved several weeks back. Again, this resolution is at no cost to the county, but provides additional benefits both to employees and dependents, and is linked or can be linked with our already in-place tuition reimbursement program. So this is a way to provide additional benefits to staff and their dependents. It will allow the county administrator to enter into such agreements consistent with this. With this resolution, we know that there's a tremendous opportunities and desire for local colleges and universities in our area to partner with us. And if you have any questions, happy to answer them. I know the administrator has been very involved in this as well, and we're pleased to bring this before you for consideration.
Ken, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. Other than we, as you all know, commissioners, we are always seeking ways to create additional professional development opportunities for our employees, because in today's environment, in order to maintain your workforce and to attract the best talent, you have to have opportunities for them to develop while employed. So we are constantly looking at opportunities such as which would be afforded under this resolution for continued professional development of employees. So I would respectfully recommend passage of this resolution.
Well, this is certainly a fantastic opportunity. We definitely need top-notch folks, and we are obviously in a highly competitive field. We have always had folks that are trying to poach our employees, whether that be the state of Ohio, private business, whoever it may be. And so it is always good for us to be able to do whatever we can to maintain and retain our employees. So this is great.
Yeah, and access to education is also key, and affordability is in line with the Rise Together Franklin County Poverty Blueprint and our goals around increasing economic mobility and in improving opportunities for our diverse communities within Franklin County to advance their educational opportunities.
Thank you.
Move for approval of 21520.
Moved in,
Sorry. I haven't done that in months.
No, you haven't.
moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 215-20 has been adopted.
That was seconded by Commissioner Boyce, by the way. I was just
The
sneezing.
rasp
I was
there,
just sneezing.
Commissioner
Yeah, yeah, I was just sneezing. Purchasing.
Resolution number 216-20, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,289,200.29.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 106 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week's small emerging business enterprise vendors include 19 eligible purchase orders totaling approximately $317,000 for goods and services that have a higher likelihood of participation by SEBEs. That is 58% of the eligible purchase order volume and 51% of the eligible purchase order dollar value. Of these purchase orders, 11 were awarded to qualified business enterprises in the following categories: 4 minority business enterprises, 2 small and emerging business enterprises, and 5 women women business enterprises. This includes goods and services totaling $160,000, Dean, I may have to ask you to read this for me, Mr. Clerk. $160,740.18. Their third time was the charm. Pending any questions, we recommend approval of this resolution.
I'll move approval of 21620.
Did you want to second that, Mr. O'Grady? Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 216-20 has been
Busy
adopted.
thinking of all the ways I
you.
can tease
Thank
Deputy
you.
Administrator Long that I won't do. The Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 217-20, resolution extending the time for certain county offices to make deposits of public monies pursuant to section 9.38 of the revised code.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. This resolution before you would allow for an extension of time for deposits to be made to the county treasurer during this emergency period that was declared pursuant to Resolution 181-20. What this will allow is any public office identified under Section 9.38 of the revised code to be authorized to hold deposits of public monies in an aggregate amount not to exceed $1,000 for 3 business days following receipt. This will provide us flexibility for our agencies as it relates to holding small deposits. Some of our agencies are naturally going to be collecting less cash as we limit traffic in our county facilities. So this gives us additional flexibility while allowing us to stay compliant with the Ohio Revised Code. So pending any questions, would recommend passage of this resolution.
Okay.
Okay. I'll move approval of 21720.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 217-20 has been adopted.
Clerk, do we have any journalizations?
1, Commissioner. Case number ANX-07-20, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-07-20, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on March 17th, 2020. The petition is requesting to annex 130.91 acres, more or less, from Truro Township to the city of Reynoldsburg. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on April 21st, 2020. Site 700 Wagoner Road, PID number 263-002400. 704 Wagoner Road, PID number 263-000174. 706 Wagoner Road, PID number 263-000151, and an unaddressed parcel on Wagoner Road, PID number 263-000153.
Thank you. So I have a brief comment to make, and I don't know if the answer to the question that I'm going to raise is going to be answered by the clerk or by the deputy county administrator or the county administrator, but so we're adjourning our meeting now. We are in high hopes that this may be, for the period of time, our last meeting in person. The legislature, the Ohio legislature, is convening this week. The House is convening, I believe, today. They're scheduled to be in session today, tomorrow, and Thursday. The Ohio Senate is scheduled to be in session on Wednesday and Thursday. They have several issues before them, but one of the issues before them that we consider, and I think they consider to be the most important, is about open meetings and the ability for local governments and boards and commissions to meet in video conferencing and teleconferencing. And so the expectation is, while they are considering many pieces of legislation, or the potential of doing one large potential piece of legislation that includes many things, this particular issue is something that we are hopeful that they are going to pass, that they have indicated that they're going to pass, that would allow for boards of county commissioners, city councils, and school boards and boards and commissions across the state of Ohio to meet by video conference and teleconference. And so in the event that that happens, this would be the last in-person meeting that we have until, Dr. Acton and the governor and others in the state of Ohio tell us that the coast is clear. And so my guess is, and maybe somebody can let us know, but I think Juan has indicated, Torres, our CIO, has indicated we may be meeting via Zoom technology. We will publicly notice that. And so there will be video conferencing coming soon, hopefully. My guess is that we could probably do our Thursday morning briefing sessions that way now. Is that gonna happen on Thursday, Dean?
I will tell you, Commissioner, as it currently stands, and I'll let Deputy Long correct me if I'm wrong, but for a briefing to be considered count towards our annual requirement, we would need one commissioner to be present for that briefing session.
One commissioner? Why was it one commissioner?
I believe we have further guidance now that we do not need one commissioner physically present. Is that correct,
I
Nick?
think that's correct. Now, it will not count, this will be the administrative briefing, correct? Where questions and answers with respect to the resolutions, your normal Thursday meeting. So long as there's not a vote, you can do it via telephone, video, whatever technology means are available to you. It will not count as one of your regular meetings, the 50 meetings that you're required to have annually. Will not count as a public meeting under the current law. Now, things may change tomorrow, Thursday, when the General Assembly addresses it. But as the current law stands today, you can certainly conduct your administrative briefing via telephone, video.
Well, one, we expect, hopefully, you can never totally rely on the legislature, no offense. Well, maybe offense, I don't know. We expect that the legislature is going to address this, number one. Number two, we rarely do vote on Thursday sessions. We only do that a handful of times a year. Number three, in the event that we had to take a vote on a Thursday, I am sure that one of us would be willing to come down here to make that happen. And number four, it's such a rare thing that we probably could push it off till the following Tuesday.
Well, beside all of that, we well surpass 50 meetings a year.
We always do.
I mean, we well surpass that just with meeting general session requirements. We meet the 50 per year. The briefings just almost double that, so we're not in jeopardy.
The only time we don't have, there's 52 weeks in a year, you need to have 50 meetings a year. We can't have meetings the last 2 weeks of every December of
Right,
every
so
year.
if we get a couple briefings in.
Yeah, and
we've met that
we usually
requirement.
cancel general session because of our NACO meetings, and maybe because we have a conflict, because we're going
So
on
if we get a
vacation.
couple of briefings in.
We usually have 47 meetings a year just in general session.
That has never been.
It's never been an issue.
Well.
Unless we had two in
close
person.
to
Yes.
100
Right.
here,
That's why I was gonna say that too.
Because the administrative briefings alone do count.
The old days of Cuyahoga County, we don't come anywhere close to that here.
Rather not come close to Cuyahoga County in any respect.
Not in any.
But
Hey now.
in all seriousness, the administrative briefing sessions, to the extent, if you are going to have a vote, it would have to be noticed, properly noticed.
Correct.
As you always do, and you would have to have a quorum. You would actually have to have two present in order to conduct
To
a
vote.
I'm talking about current open meetings law.
Sure.
And again, I've not had the opportunity to review the language that's being proposed. Hopefully it will be broad enough, and I guess we'll see that
Yeah.
tomorrow, Thursday, and hopefully.
I just wanted to make sure that we had a public discussion about the fact that the legislature is meeting for this purpose today, tomorrow, potentially Thursday, to make to make some changes as it relates to the crisis that we find ourselves in.
Commissioners, if I may,
Yes,
really
please,
quickly,
Eric. Yeah.
it's my understanding in talking to Lauren this morning, we debrief every morning, that there were upwards of 20 bills introduced last night. In addition, I think there are two placeholding omnibus bills where eventually things might get folded all into one. One of the bills, I believe, is specifically about the open meetings law, among many others, addressing a lot of the subjects that we all presented to CCAO and the General Assembly. Lauren is in the process of reviewing and compiling them today, so your offices will have more information about the nature of those bills and what's being proposed. She will probably talk briefly about it in the public call at 10 o'clock, but she's at work today at home, working on summarizing those bills and comparing them back to the priorities that we had identified. But the expectation and the hope is that something will be done in that regard this week.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, President O'Grady. One, I would say that, so I believe they canceled session for today already.
They did. I
And-
think they're scheduled for tomorrow.
And so, and then you talk about the 20 bills and the two omnibus bills. I wouldn't hold my breath for them to get this done. You know, the legislative process is very archaic, and they would have to substantially suspend the rules or attach. They would have to probably do this through amendments on an existing bill, which creates a lot of controversy. And so I just want to caution us that the expectation for them to get it done this week is going to be limited. And they couldn't even meet today, you know, because of their own sort of archaic process. And so we should also begin to think, because I'm with Commissioner O'Grady, even in terms of just going ahead and meeting, doing our briefings at the very least via electronically, and we'll deal with the meeting count another time. You know, I think at the end of the day, the meeting count, no matter what, given the circumstance, will be addressed by and now that they have time to figure out. So we can all, if we violate that during the year, the General Assembly should have the gumption to come back and say, okay, we're not going to, you know, we're going to correct that. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about the meeting count, but I'm with Commissioner O'Grady that we should go ahead and get our system up and running. And I think that's what you were saying, get our
Yes.
system up and running.
I think it is.
And use
up and
it.
running.
And begin to use it on Thursday to test it out and begin to get into that frame of usage. But you know, again, the General Assembly, I'm not sure they've even figured out how they're going to meet in
Right.
terms of the 99 members, and that chamber is, you know,
Not very big.
yeah,
It's
you know,
tight.
it's going to be, you know, I'm sure they're working through that now, but I'm confident it's a challenge for them. And keep in mind, they have a lot of issues, and I would say their reason for convenience is really rooted in the election. They've got to make a decision around the election process, and they will spend the majority of their time debating and fighting over that because there are 900 ideas and ways, and some folks want an election day, some folks want absent. I mean, it's just, you know, they're going to spend, and so I'm concerned that our sort of detail operation stuff is secondary to their, because the fight is really around the election. You know, everyone's on the ballot in that chamber. You've got, you know, a lot of competitive races that are in queue, and everyone's waiting on. That will be what they spend their energy and time doing. And so I just, you know, and then I finally add that as far as Lauren and the legislation that comes, it's really important that she track the amendments, because I'll tell you, even Sebecki's bill is focused on, I think that's the main bill. It would have to run through committee, so I doubt that they're going to use that. I think they're going to do amendments to existing bills so they can skirt the committee process. But most of them are unaware about the 50 meeting requirement. They're focused on, oh, you guys need to meet, and so we're going to give you the ability to, you know, do electronic and all that, and they're not thinking, and they're, you know, so it would be important that if Lauren is tracking that we might drop that to one of our Franklin County delegate members so that they can, as that amendment comes through, they can amend the amendment or make the suggestion, because I guarantee you, no one's thinking about that when, you know, they'll be so inundated with these. And because the way they'll have to do the meeting for the General Assembly, it'll be broken up. You know, I'm sure they're not gonna put all 99 members in one at once. And so it can easily get dropped. The details can easily get dropped. So one of the beauties about Franklin County of the last few years is how we've been so lockstep with our delegation, and the communication is, Lauren's got cell numbers of members. I mean, that's outstanding. And so we'll have to employ that significantly over the next few days because they'll get wrapped up in that election day stuff, I promise you. And I a little bit connected to the conversation because I have so many friends that are legislators. And so I just know that's where their energy is going to be taken. So,
Commissioners, if I may, let me just state that with the help of Juan Torres, our Chief Information Officer, and Adam Frumkin in the data center, we are ready to go meet virtually at briefing on Thursday. That system is up and running, so if that's your choice, we are prepared to move forward.
I think we ought to do virtual briefing on Thursday. I don't see any reason why we can't.
I'm excited about it.
I
It's
think
gonna
we
be
can
great.
do it and as long as our laptops are set up, and mine is,
Now,
I'm ready to do it.
will the technology actually pick up if my apartment's clean or not? Can it just kind of get it to zero in just on me?
I can help you with that.
Okay,
Chris.
Yeah.
great, thank you. I want to make sure. Yeah. Oh, it's it, like, I'm not gonna move, like,
I've been on
don't mind those
Zoom.
coffee cups back there.
I've been on Zoom all week long. I have 6 of us at home right now. I swear every time I clean the house, it's like gremlins. It like multiplies. My kids, I turn around, every time I turn around, there's a bigger mess someplace. But yeah, no, you can figure it out.
With the
So,
zero
My
in,
condo
well,
is getting smaller and
Yeah.
smaller
I
as
told-
Eric and I are both working at home.
I told my wife when I left the house, I said, whatever you do when they wake up, I want this house clean when I come back. And she just looked at me and grinned.
Commissioners, technology is a wonderful thing, and I'm just gonna mention this, because we're in such serious times right now, but we were having a Zoom meeting, and Deputy Administrator Janice sort of traveled around the country, at least 2 stops. He may want to
I'd like to
elaborate.
comment on that if I may. In a normal world, I would have been on vacation this week in the Outer Banks, so I changed my picture to the beach behind me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
oh, you can do that on the Zoom?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
And I want to say, by the way, I didn't
Have
tell
some
my
fun.
wife to clean the house. I was telling her to tell the kids to clean the house.
Yeah.
I want to be clear about that.
I thought Erin
I would
was
never tell my
Marie.
wife to clean the house.
Isn't Erin
Get
Marie
killed.
Kondo Jr.?
She is, but she only will do that. She'll only clean her room or other parts of the house for money.
Or ice cream.
Or
You
ice
said
cream.
ice
Yeah,
cream.
ice cream. She
Commissioners,
will
if I may, just one final point to Commissioner Boyce's conversation. Absolutely defer to your strong judgment on how you think this is going to play out. You obviously served in the General Assembly. I just wanted to reiterate the point that Lauren's on it and paying attention, and that we're talking every day about it. And
I feel
we'll
good about
report
that.
to you as soon as we know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned for March 24th, and in one way, shape, or form, we will see everybody back here. Maybe not back here, but we'll see everybody in some world, real or virtual, on the 31st of March.
Subway.
So for the
Thank you.
administrative, are we all staying for that, or how's that work?
I'm going to, so because it's easier.
Yeah, it just seems.
Yeah.